Afternoon to you, my brother. Good afternoon to all listening folks. And we are off again today. We are doing this again to make sure that our listenership, they are kept abreast. I want to say how happy we are to be bringing you this every afternoon to keep you informed. We believe that the information is pivotal to you making good decisions. And with good information, you can certainly be prepared. I'm sharing my screen because right off the bat, you will see that September is living up to its name. There are so many areas of the disturbed weather within the Atlantic basin. There are a few tropical systems also out there, Paulette and Rene. Those particular systems, let's get those out of the bat right now. They are not going to be impacting us. Those are heading out to sea. As you can see, Paulette is right in this general location right here as of 5 p.m. this afternoon with 45 or 50 miles per hour heading out towards the west to northwest at 8 knots. And just to keep you informed with respect to where this west northwesterly heading is actually heading out. And let me just get my annotation going right here so you can see it's heading out into this general location. So Antigua and Barbuda, we are right here. So those of you who want to know where Antigua and Barbuda is, we're right in this dot right here. Now, as you can see, that tropical storm Paulette is moving towards the west to northwest, heading out away from the island chain. We are not forecasting any sort of significant impacts from it. However, we could see some swells reaching into the northern area come Friday and Saturday. And that is because of the fact that the ground swells, according to the rough sea waters with respect to where tropical storm Paulette is located right now, can migrate into a general area. What is the impact of that? It means that the beaches along the northern coastlines of Antigua and Barbuda and the rest of the leewards and the British Virgin Islands can see some wave action, some swell action, some wave action, and the beaches are not necessarily going to be safe along the northern and the eastern coastal areas, because we anticipate if those swells reach into our area, can create some rough waters along that line. So those of you who are anticipating going to the beach, let's say during the course of the weekend along the northern coastlines, might not be the best areas to go. You may want to consider the southern areas that are more sheltered. All right, and that is with respect to the impacts that are likely from Paulette, that we can see some ground swells. Take a look at what we are seeing right now on our satellite images and also from the National Hurricane Center. All these X's that you're seeing going on right here, this X here and this X right here, take a look at where they're located from Antigua. They are not forecast to impact us. So let's get that out of the way also. Rene also is heading off towards the west-northwest in this general location. So Antigua and Barbuda, we're located here again. And this particular motion will take it out into the open Atlantic, what we call the fish storms. So we are not forecasting any significant impacts from that. We do have an area of disturbed weather. Now, this area of disturbed weather is what our major focus will be in the next couple of days. I'm sure by now you have been hearing so much about it because of the likely path that is likely to take. Well, this afternoon, it emerged off the coast of Africa. It's forecast to move towards the west. Currently, it's located roughly about 2,000 miles to the east of the island chain. That's so far out, so you can anticipate that it's nothing that it is immediate right now. That's for the next week or so. However, it's forecast to move towards the west in this general location here, as you could see. And as it moves in this general location, that we are likely to see another tropical system forming as it moves towards the west, towards the island chain. We are hoping that some of our models are suggesting that it can take a turn towards the north and follow Paulette, and some are suggesting otherwise. But for right now, what we are saying that this particular area bears watching, and we will certainly be keeping a very close eye on it because of the likelihood of it taking a path that is near to the island chain. For us right now in the island chain, we are continuing to note that that with respect to any tropical cyclone activity, that we are quite safe, at least for the next 2 to 3 days. This is Paulette up here, Rene is behind here, and this is the area right behind here that we are monitoring. Let me get the annotation going right now again. This is that area right out here, this broad area of low pressure that just emerged off the coast of Africa. Already you could see the cloudiness is already wrapping with it, and is forecast to head off towards the west in this general location here, and we will be paying very close attention to it. As it stands right now, there's no need for any undue alarm, but we're asking the public to closely monitor its progress over the next few days. My brother?
I'm right here with you, and I see that this disturbance that will hopefully turn into a tropical storm is like eyeballing us. I know that you said that there are other models that would show that it becomes a fish storm, but there are other models that say it's coming to us. One person said to me, there's so many bullets out there, we won't be able to dodge all those bullets, referring to the storm. And so we should keep our eyes on this, as you said. We'll be keeping that.
Yeah.
With your professional eye, we are going to be expecting the guidance in the coming days. Should it become a depression, then progressing to a storm, what is the likely time of it being much closer to us?
Okay, some of the models are suggesting that if it will be somewhere in the close to the island chain sometime Wednesday night next week, Thursday or Friday, sometime in that time frame, give or take some. Remember that it's still a long ways out. And this is one of the things, my brother, that I need to stress, that a lot of individuals right now, because those computer models are so available, individuals are looking at these computer models and already coming up with us an outlook. And I could understand how those computer models can actually lead you into thinking these things. However, there's so much more that goes on into this, and that irrespective of the fact that you're looking at something, that the models at this time are not necessarily the most accurate. As you go out in time, errors tend to be amplified. So at this stage, way out at 2,000 miles out, even though you're seeing a model track suggesting that it can come close to the island chain, the next hour or the next model run can show something totally different because of the fact that the model is amplifying errors and it is showing the variants of different things. So you need to be cautious in looking for these models. For us here in Antigua and Barbuda, and what we do as meteorologists, we look at varying different models. We look at the consistency. We're looking at the reasons why the models are trending the way they're trending. And all of those things go into the forecast. For right now, you have heard me stay clear of the likely impacts to the Eastern Caribbean. You have not necessarily heard me speak about that it is coming to Antigua. This is not the type of language for this time of for where it is at right now. However, what I really want to stress is that individuals within the Eastern Caribbean who are looking at these broadcasts and following the models, we are going to be asking you to make sure that you listen to the forecast, the original, the official forecast that's coming out of the Met Office, because in that information, we'll have the pertinent information for us here in our Twin Islands state, and also for the Leeward and British Virgin Islands and islands further towards the west. So for right now, it's an area of concern. It's an area of interest that we are monitoring. The likelihood of it forming is high, 90%, and it is likely to take a path towards the west. How far west will it come is going to highly determine whether or not Paulette and Rene create a weakness in the high pressure ridge. If that materializes, then it will swing towards the north. If it does not materialize it and it is remaining under the influence of the high pressure ridge, then it can track closer to the islands. So all that dynamics are at play right now, and we do not necessarily want to be so conclusive at this time, but it's an area of interest that we're going to be monitoring by tomorrow or even over the weekend. My brother, I think that we can have possibly an outlook going on into the weekend, possibly tomorrow afternoon, just to keep individuals abreast of the changes, I'm sure can make myself available to that so that individuals can be abreast with respect to where this particular feature is likely to go. But it's an area of interest, and we will be closely monitoring it.
Certainly, I'd make myself available as well. But I just want to iterate two things that you mentioned earlier in this segment, in your closing segment, is that your trusted weather source is the Meteorological Office official forecast. What we are doing here is supporting the work that these good gentlemen and women are doing at the Met Office. This should never become your primary source of weather information, but it's supporting the source. And there's no other source in Antigua or Barbuda that should be trusted more than the national forecast. So we're happy that you join in. Sometimes, based on the structure of the system, you may get that a little later, and some persons like to get information beforehand. And that's what we are here for, to give you a preliminary insight into the forecast that you will get in the evening. We're happy to know that you join us, and it's becoming your source of weather information, because what is it? You can always go back to it even though you're late, and we appreciate that. And hence the reason why we do what we do. And so again, this afternoon, we want to thank Mr. Josiah for stopping by out of his busy schedule and for assisting us with providing this supportive initiative to the weather update in Antigua and Barbuda and the Eastern Caribbean. So I want to thank you again, Mr. Josiah, and trust that you will have a productive and blessed evening.
Okay, great stuff, my brother. And we're going to continue to stay in contact, and we're going to keep the folks abreast with respect to this. We're in the peak of the hurricane season, and I know that many eyes are on this particular feature as it migrates towards the west.
So we'll see you tomorrow afternoon, same time, same platform, and do have a pleasant evening, everyone.
Okay, great stuff, my brother.